state law. Presentation from our city attorney, Mark Kaszubski. Mr. Kaszubski.
Thank you, Mayor. Just quickly, I wanted to update City Council. So we've received several emails over the week, both pro and against this ordinance, specifically on limiting the age when allowing sales of kratom in Sterling Heights. The practical difficulty of allowing the sale of kratom through Sterling Heights now is it's just a unregulated substance for us. The state is looking at a statewide ban. If that were to pass, then it would be statewide and there wouldn't be sale of kratom anywhere. Right now, kratom is available online. People who are using it for treatments, and we said at the presentation that kratom is something that is being used by some people to combat chronic pain and opioid addiction, things of that nature. However, it's because it's unregulated in the city, it's unregulated in the state. We're still recommending that this be banned completely in Sterling Heights. We've worked with the police department. The police department enforcement wing has been steadfast in recommending that we go this route. I trust my professionals in the police department to tell us, what they're seeing on the streets. We've gotten a lot of emails. I know that at least one council member has received at least one email of a photograph that I don't want to necessarily detail, but of an individual who was pronounced dead as a result of an overdose of kratom. It can be used responsibly. It can be abused. Right now, our recommendation is to continue the actual ban on the substance being sold in the borders of Sterling Heights.
Okay, council, or I guess we'll go to the audience.
Right.
Yes, if there's anyone who'd like to speak on this item, come on up now.
Did you see it?
Good evening.
My name is Melody Wolf. Excuse me. My name is Melody Wolf, and I have come to you from Kalamazoo through a 3+ hour storm-riddled travel and minor flooding. And when the roads flood, you can't see the potholes. And so then your car bottoms out. But we made it here. Why I've come so far is to give you some good news, and that's that at the federal level, the ban of 7-OH is imminent. They are going to do it. How do I know this? Because I was asked by the FDA and HHS to participate in their press briefing about kratom and about 7-OH. I'm a lifetime resident of Michigan, and I've been a daily 12-year consumer of kratom. And that's why they asked me to talk about it. They asked me to talk about the benefits of it, and they asked me to explain how it had affected my family. See, I've been a chronic pain patient for over 20 years. I have several issues, and I became a chronic pain patient when my kids were all in elementary school. And it started out to where I couldn't hold my husband's hand, and it went downhill from there. Our house became pretty dismal when I became bedridden. And I was bedridden for 8 years, and it got so bad that my kids had to have a fan. Remember, they're in elementary school. They had to have a fan on in their room at night just so they could sleep, because they were hearing me cry downstairs when I was on the couch, because my husband had to go to work the next day, and so they could hear me crying downstairs. And so things are pretty dismal. Enter kratom. That was when my youngest was in high school. And see, at that time, before kratom, I was using a walker and even a wheelchair at times. And it was really bad. And then started kratom, and I don't need mobility aids, though I still do have pain. I'm in pain right now. But no, I'm mobile, and I manage my life, and I'm able to travel independently. So kratom made a real difference in my life, and that's what they asked me to talk about. I had to clear my comments with them, so they knew exactly what I was going to say, and I had to tell them first, actually. And so they made it very clear that they were going after 7-OH, and they were not going after kratom. And then because of the difference it made in my life, say I wasn't there for my kids when they were growing up, but I am there for them now with my 3 adult children. In fact, in 2022, during COVID, my family, my daughter and her husband, they lost their childcare. 2 weeks before she went off maternity leave. And during COVID, there's no childcare left, none, anywhere. So they asked me to move in with them for the year, and I was able to save them $50,000. And that's a great savings to a new couple starting out with the family. So I've been able to be there for them during that time. And during the past, last summer, I chased my granddaughter around the Detroit Zoo every Friday because I took care of her during the summer. This past February, I went to the University of Florida Research Center to the Kratom Scientific Symposium with regulators and scientists from every single healthcare agency. Not one person talked about a ban of any kind. Not even Dr. Nora Volkow, the director of the National Institute of Drug Abuse. She's very pro-Kratom. She gave the same pro-Kratom stance in 2023 at the congressional briefing, the same pro-Kratom stance that she gave her statement at the 2024, which I was asked to participate, and the same stance at the conference. And so I would just please ask you to follow the current U.S. trajectory on Kratom, and that is we need to protect legality, age gate, labeling, of course. That's what I want. And if you need my help banning 7-OH today, I'll stay and help you do that, because that does need to go really fast, too. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else on this item?
Hi, my name is Brittany Sefton. I grew up in Michigan my whole life. I'll start with my story. I was injured in high school sports, which led to a 12-year addiction to prescription opiates. I transitioned from that to 3 years medication-assisted treatment with methadone. My highest dose there was 215 milligrams of methadone daily. At that dose, I got put in jail for shoplifting. I spent 26 days detoxing there. When I got out, on my way home, I stopped at the gas station and got Kratom. Today, I've been clean for 6 years off of all prescription opiates with the help of Kratom. I also have 5 small children, 14 and under. The first 4 are all special needs and on the autism spectrum. And, every day is hard. Kratom helps me get through that. I want to stress the importance that Kratom is not 7-OH. There is a big difference. They are not comparable. They should not be treated the same. They should be dealt with completely differently. Kratom should be regulated and age-gated and, have it available wherever you'd like. But today, I would not be clean if I wouldn't have had access to Kratom. I do buy my Kratom online now, which they do testing and stuff like that. You can see the test results right there. There's a whole alkaloid profile. 7-OH is a minor alkaloid that is found in Kratom. Less than 2% of the alkaloid profile is 7-OH. It's very minor. Let's see. Excuse me. I also wanted to touch on Rhode Island banned plain leaf Kratom back in 2017. April 1st, they reversed that, and now they have the Rhode Island Kratom Act, which is heavily regulated and taxed. But they found a need to reverse that because people were buying Kratom illegally, and it opened up a whole black market thing, on top of not being regulated. So, prohibition has been proven to not be successful in the past. So today I'm asking for you to maybe regulate plain leaf Kratom and ban 7-OH and all its other things that came from 7-OH. There's more people like me. I'm just one of many out of a Kratom community, and we're there to help and support each other. And that's about it.
Thank you. Anyone else on this item? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll try to be brief. Hi, my name is Allison Smith. I am from Washington DC. I flew all the way down to see you guys and have a conversation. I work with the Global Kratom Coalition. We're a nonprofit that works at the federal, state, and local level to implement regulations on kratom. Just a little bit of background about me. My background is in policy. I sent you guys a couple of emails. I don't know if I sent you one, but I'm happy to follow up after this conversation. I'm here tonight in regards to this proposed ordinance. Obviously, GKC supports strong regulations, and we want strong labeling requirements, 21 up age gates, prohibitions on packaging that's attractive to children. And we share the same goal as you, is to protect public safety while permitting access to natural kratom products for the individuals that benefit from their use. As currently drafted, this would ban all kratom products. And I just want to kind of briefly dive into the difference between the two. So natural kratom has been used for centuries in Southeast Asia, where it originates from. Came over here in the 1970s by the veterans of Vietnam War, and it is currently regulated under the Federal Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, otherwise known as DSHEA, as all dietary ingredients and supplements are. Federal law gives FDA the authority to enforce against adulterated products, as well as products that represent an unreasonable risk. Why is this important? Because concentrated synthetic 7-OH, these synthetic drugs that you're seeing at gas stations and convenience stores, are adulterated, and they represent a clear and present danger. People are getting addicted to them. People are unfortunately overdosing on them. And that is why on July 29th of last year, HHS, FDA, and DEA announced a coordinated effort to add this to the emergency schedule. Last week, I live in DC. I was told scheduling is imminent. These dangerous products will be removed from your shelves within a matter of weeks at most. And with that would hopefully come federal funding and resources to help enforce those types of regulations. Importantly, during this announcement, the FDA made clear, as one of the previous speakers said, that their focus is on these concentrated drugs. The country is recognizing that not all kratom products are the same, and I ask that you consider this. I'll try to skip through all of this. While a full prohibition, while well-intentioned, can actually work against your goals. And when you pass blanket bans, you lose visibility and control over the products that are being sold, and it can push consumers into unregulated markets, as what happened with Rhode Island. Regulation, on the other hand, gives you control. And I actually work with a physician who is also a kratom advocate, who has taken, it's called a Kratom Consumer Protection Act, that's what they call them at the state level. She has taken that legislation and diluted it down to something that can be enforceable at the local level. There's a manual and a literal checklist that you can print out and walk into stores and say, this is a deemable product. This is something that needs to be seized and confiscated. I have emailed it to you. I will more than happily bump it up for you. I'll send it to you as well, sir. I understand the concern with regulation, but you guys have an opportunity to be a leader amongst the entire state. Bans, I understand that you're probably going to say that possession isn't illegalized, but these bans, these sales bans spread, and eventually it will become a state issue, and it will impact the people that do consume this product. And there's 23 million Americans that consume natural kratom product safely every day. So with that, I'm happy to be a resource. I'm happy to answer any questions. This is what I do for a living, and I love it, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe in it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. I think I had an opportunity to speak with you briefly on the phone. Thank you for your time. And Mr. Agke, I think I did too. I was the one that sent the story of my wife. It had a picture of her, my wife Melody there, standing at the HHS podium at that press briefing where Director McCary of the FDA announced that they're asking the DEA to schedule 7-OH. I think all synthetics should be banned. Of course, my wife told you the story about her being a 20-year-long chronic pain patient with fibromyalgia, and it was just horrible. She was on, I believe, 11 high-power prescription meds trying to mitigate her pain, and just horrible side effects, and it took my wife away from me and took our family without a mother. I left them without a mother. And then came Kratom, a plain leaf Kratom. And we do have one Kratom regret to inform you of, and that's that we didn't find it sooner, because it gave me my wife back. It gave my kids their mother back. And so my wife and then our friend Brittany, they're walking around living proof that plain leaf Kratom can be successfully used. As long as you're not stupid with it. I'm encouraging you to not ban the plain leaf Kratom, but certainly do ban the synthetics, 7-OH, that's horrible. That is a drug. So yeah, please follow the FDA and federal trajectory. Please allow access to plain leaf Kratom for those who use it responsibly to adults, and then get rid of the synthetics, and that'll keep your citizens safe. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else on this item? If not, council, we need a motion.
Mayor Taylor,
Mrs. Sarowski.
just give me a second because I've been on the internet. Resolved to adopt the ordinance to amend Chapter 35 of the City Code to ban the sale and distribution of Kratom, and to amend Chapters 35 and 49 of the City Code to add new offenses and amend existing provisions to conform with state law.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion, Mrs.
Oh,
Sarowski?
yes, I've got quite a few things. So first and foremost, yes, it was brought up by our speakers, and so the residents, I did some research while they were talking because I wanted to be able to speak clearly on some of these items. And so Kratom versus 7-OH. 7-OH is an alkaloid found naturally in the Kratom plant. It represents a completely different risk profile than traditional Kratom. So we understand that. But right now the cart is, I believe that the cart is before the horse. Right now it's the wild, wild west. There is not any, the FDA, first of all, does not regulate supplements, which this is designated at the same way that they do any medications. They go after the fact, they investigate, and they make recommendations. And if there is a diagnostic claim, then that can be, like they say, this is, if you use this and you have a diagnosis, you have a specific diagnosis, then that can be investigated. But it is not regulated for safety, and that's in the same regard as regular medications are. So what we have is, as I said, the cart before the horse. We've got all this out there. Some is probably pure, just Kratom leaf. Some is a 7-OH. But nobody knows that when they go to buy it. Kids don't know that, and age gating isn't going to change that. I've got personal experience of a friend's child who almost died from this, had to go through withdrawals, had no idea that Kratom could be addictive and was highly addictive. And this person is in their late 20s. So that age gating wouldn't have touched them. They were able to get it from their local liquor store, and it was free and clear. And yes, the packaging is very seductive. It is very pretty. It is colorful. It looks like, Sour Patch Kids. It's a really high market, and it is marketed towards younger adults or younger people. But still in all, this is a very dangerous substance that we don't have any handle on yet. That is why I am very much in favor of just banning it until we have a handle on it. The FDA can change their designation of it and then make it a drug, and then we can have some regulations, and we can have dosing regulations and manufacturing regulations and all the things that come with an actual drug. But that is not what happens with supplements. And I think we've heard this enough times that the general public does know that supplements, know for sure. It might say that there's 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C, but it's not guaranteed, because that supplement isn't tested to the extent that any prescribed drug is. And the other thing is, it can be a good medication, but people are self-medicating. And that is not always safe. I know some people don't trust doctors, they don't trust the medical system. I do understand that. I'm a nurse, I do understand that. But I want this is potent at the 7-OH especially level, and the leaf, and it's just like the marijuana plant. Some people used to smoke the plant, now they smoke the bud. The leaf was weaker than the bud. And so there's a whole different, but it's still marijuana. So there's a whole different level of oversight that needs to be done on this before we can have a regulation. So that's why I'm for banning it until we have a better handle on it, and hopefully we will save some lives. Because I know that, yes, I'm glad that you guys can get it, people can get it online, and this is just Sterling Heights. It's not, as we've said, this isn't banning the use. This isn't banning taking something that isn't regulated or not regulated. This is, people can do what they want to with the medications they're taking that are out there, but we are preventing it from getting into the wrong hands. And until it's under better control, it's much safer. And yes, prohibition of alcohol might not have worked as well, but we still prohibit many drugs that are called illegal drugs. So that's all I have. Thank you very much, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Sarowski. Council, anyone else?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Yanez.
So I'm going to agree with a lot of what Mrs. Sarowski just said. But first of all, I would like to say to Mrs. Wolf and Brittany, thank you for sharing your stories. They were very powerful. Obviously addiction is not anything to, it's something that we take very seriously. And we spend a lot of money on helping people get off their opioid addiction. One of the things that bothered, Ms. Wolf, can you come back to the microphone, please? I'm just curious. I want to ask you a question, and I want to make sure everybody can hear the answer.
Actually, a little bit more nervous here than I was at the age.
That's okay. Well, you're obviously not on
I
Kratom
was like,
then.
no problem. Although RFK did call me Wendy, so, I gotta talk about that.
Yeah, and thank you for the long drive all the way here in the bad
hey,
weather.
It's all right.
So where do you buy your Kratom, and how did you determine what the right dosage was for you?
Well, first of all, I found it online. I was in support groups for fibromyalgia, because when you're bedridden, you need all the support you can get,
Yeah, my
especially when
mom
you
had
have a young family.
fibromyalgia, so I appreciate
Right.
what you went through.
Yeah, so I found it there, and somebody posted science, I read about it, I researched it for about 3 or 4 months on my own, and then I went to my doctor, and I said, what do you think about this? He said, I've heard great things about it. I'm okay if you want to try it, and I have been taking it daily since.
And how did you determine how much was the right amount for you?
I did some research with some of the science that was out there. It wasn't a lot at the time, but there was some. It says just start at a small amount. And I actually started at, I would say, half of what was recommended because, I know that potency isn't exact around it. So I just started the smallest amount, increased it a tiny, tiny bit until I could find the amount that gave me pain relief. And because it was all the way back in 2014, I will be very honest with you. I believe that I was taking too much at the time. I didn't know that I was, but now we do know. So now I go by the guidance that is currently out there from the scientists. They talked a lot about it at the Kratom Scientific Symposium, about what would become low, medium, and high amounts. And so I actually take less now than I took 12 years ago. I take about 30% less today than I took. And maybe some of it's because my pain is lower. Because I started taking it, I could get out of bed. So I instantly lost like about 40 pounds. And so then I could exercise and I didn't have to take my blood pressure medication anymore. And I was able to stop like 8 or 9 meds, like my husband said. I take my cholesterol and my thyroid, which are 2 medications I had before I became a chronic pain patient. So I got rid of 9 of them, including the highest level of fentanyl patch. And they were giving me Dilaudid at the same time, all from one doctor. I went taking these things to the Cleveland Clinic, and they didn't say anything about the drugs that I was taking. They said not one word. In fact, you know what they did? They gave me another one at the Cleveland Clinic.
Okay,
And
so
so-
just, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but, so just to be clear, you still get yours online? You still,
Yes, I do. What I do is I do a deep dive into the vendor.
Okay.
I make them give me their reports, and then I go and I research the lab. So I make sure that the lab isn't some lab that will say anything you want them to say.
Okay.
But when you regulate it, you can make it register the products, so.
All right, thank you. I appreciate
Yep,
the
you're welcome.
your input. So this is what bothers me is, one, you can buy it online. So whether we ban it here or not, it's not going to stop anybody who wants to buy them. I'm a little disturbed that Mrs. Wolf has to do a deep dive to figure out if the place she's buying it from is safe. And the fact of the matter is, and Brittany, excuse me for using your name like this, but, your story, you stopped at a gas station. And, you're not stopping at a CVS, you're not stopping at a Rite Aid, you're not stopping, at your pharmacy. Your friend there is doing a deep dive to figure out if the place she's buying from online is safe. And this is really what the ban is all about. I mean, and Ms. Smith, maybe it's a domino effect. Maybe it's, sorry, thank you. Maybe it's not, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, if you got to go to a gas station or a vape shop to buy this pain reliever, maybe it's working for you. And I'm taking your word for it that it is, but I don't know that this is what we want to do. And as a matter of fact, I know it's not what we want to do. As Mrs. Zarowski said, the packaging is designed to attract children to buy it. And the guy working behind the counter at the gas station is not a pharmacist. At least, I don't think so. So, I have absolutely no problem with what we're presenting here tonight. It's not going to stop anybody from buying it at all. You can still buy it online. You can still go to the community next door if you feel like you got to walk into a brick and mortar to buy it. But until we get some certainty that we know, and if you want to compare this to marijuana, if we want to compare this to marijuana, at least marijuana has to be tested by a state-approved laboratory, right? Any drug or medication that you buy, as Mrs. Zarowski said, is tested for a long time. We know that the opioids were a problem, but that's because of how they were abused more than anything else. And until we can actually sell this product within the city boundaries with some certainty that it's been tested and approved and trained individuals are selling it to you, I don't know why we wouldn't ban it until a higher authority goes ahead and approves use of this creative substance. Thank you. So I'm going to support what's being presented tonight. I hope the federal government or the state government or somebody comes through and regulates this product to help folks like you. But I don't see this, this ban of City of Sterling Heights is affecting the ability for anybody to get their hands on this product at all. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. So
All right.
I'm going to support the ordinance.
Mayor Taylor?
Mrs. Schmidt.
Thank you. I'm in support of the motion on the floor as well. I kind of look back at when we had the great debate about marijuana in our community, and we, at the time, elected to opt out of permitting any marijuana facilities of any kind, grow or dispensaries or anything in our community. And, the big fight was, well, we're taking our residents' rights away to purchase this product in our community. Well, the argument was you can get it delivered to your front door. You can order it online. You can get it delivered to your front door. You can walk to Warren, Utica, not Clinton Township, but many neighboring communities and purchase marijuana. So that domino effect that was talked about, our opting out of marijuana sales did not affect any other communities. We are here for our community, not other communities. So I just think that there's too many unknowns about this, and it's not regulated, and until we can make our residents safe, they always have the option to find it someplace else. I wish they didn't, and I'm glad that there is relief for people with medical conditions or, addictions. I just don't feel comfortable having this available without real regulations in place. So if we go back, if there are regulations put in place at the federal level, then we can always revisit it. That's always an option. However, at this point, I am very comfortable with what is before the council right now. So nothing further, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Schmidt. Mrs. Zarko.
Thank you, Mayor Taylor. I think at this time, the action that we're taking tonight is the correct action to take. I think the key words here are that it is unregulated in the state of Michigan and available to minors. And that's who we're trying to, we're trying to protect our minors. We also have a drug-free coalition that does a lot of research for us, and they bring recommendations to us. And I think with all of that we've talked about and keeping our kids safe, I don't think that I could go against their recommendations, and they are the ones that actually brought this kratom to us as far as a substance that our youth were abusing. And Mrs. Schmidt works with high school students, and she saw it on the premises there. So these are things as we're trying to protect our youth. And I hope you understand that. Although I can see and I understand the benefits that you've had from using it. So I'm not, disregarding any of your testimony that you had here today, because it has been a benefit, to you. But until there's some kind of regulation and until we know more about it and where it can be sold legally, I have to agree that somehow going into a gas station isn't the place to buy it. And then all the research that you have to do to buy it online. So until we can see some kind of government regulations on the substance, then I think that at this time, we have the correct action is to ban it right now. We can always go back and change this ordinance in the future, but for the current time, I think this is the correct action to take. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Zarko. Anyone else? Yeah, in 16 years, this might be the first agenda item I can remember where, as I begin my comments, I don't know exactly how I'm going to vote. I think, it's compelling listening to you, Ms. Wolf, and Brittany, and Ms. Smith as well. I did receive a number of emails and more phone calls than I could respond to. More information provided to me than I could have reviewed. It's compelling hearing people talk about going through chronic pain and chronic disorders and having this product really be life-changing and in many ways life-saving. I think probably, anecdotally, I would say 6 or 7 to 1, the emails were people asking me to not ban kratom. There were people who emailed me saying to ban kratom. There were an overwhelming majority, I would say, that called for a ban of synthetic kratom. There were, however, at least one, if not more, emails that I received from people saying that their loved one died from using whole leaf kratom. So this is a difficult issue. And I do think there are parallels to the marijuana debate, although I don't know that the parallels to the current marijuana debate are as relevant to the marijuana debate from decades ago. I have faint memories of, being maybe 30 years ago, hearing about people saying that marijuana should be descheduled because it provides certain health benefits to cancer patients or to other people who, where traditional medicines, Western medicines, I guess you could say in some sense, were not working for them. And I think, I think the marijuana debate, it was difficult to get to the place it is now I think because there were so many voices coming out against it. So many people spoke out against marijuana, making it seem like it was heroin or a much more dangerous drug than I think it turned out to actually be. I don't know anything about kratom except for what I've read recently, and I don't claim to be an expert on it by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know what the right move is here. I really don't. I don't know if banning it is the right move. I don't know if keeping it available for sale is the right move. What I'm fairly convinced of is that banning synthetic kratom seems to be something that is unobjectionable, that we haven't heard. I had no, there does not appear to be a constituency that's willing to publicly or privately put their name behind the continued sale of synthetic kratom. But can I sit here and say that I know what the difference is between the synthetic kratom and the whole leaf kratom? You used the term plain leaf kratom. Maybe it means the same as whole leaf kratom. I assumed it did, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure what the right move is here. I think, without question, banning synthetic kratom does appear to be proper. Although if what you're saying is true, then it sounds like that's going to be banned soon anyways. So it's a difficult decision. It's a difficult call because, on the one hand, you have these, like if I voted no and if the council voted no, then tomorrow morning or, whenever this ordinance would go into effect, is it about a month or a couple weeks or something, Mr. Koszybski? Couple weeks. So, if we pass it tonight, then we could say with certainty that that synthetic stuff would be off the shelves at stores in Sterling Heights. That's a good thing, right? We can also say that the whole leaf kratom would not be available either. Now, I don't look at it as very compelling to say, well, it's not that big of a deal because you can still get it online. You can get it through other sources. Then what's the point? Why ban it if you can get it from other sources? It's a strange thing that this sort of life-saving medication for you is available at gas stations and convenience stores, party stores, vape stores. I was out of state this past weekend and walking down a street in a major U.S. city, and there was a sign at a vape shop, and it's, vape and whatever else, and it had kratom on it. And I went in and I asked them, do you have kratom? Can I see the kratom? I don't think I was going to buy it, but I don't even know what it looks like. I don't know how it's packaged. I don't know how you take it. I don't know, like I said, I don't know much about it at all. And he said it was in Louisiana, and they said that they didn't have kratom anymore because the state banned it. So there's a patchwork of regulations from state to state, city to city, the federal government as well. But, I think where I'm going to fall on this is to say I'm going to vote no on this today, meaning I'm going to vote to not ban kratom in the city of Sterling Heights, although I would recommend that the city, if it gets voted down, I would recommend that the city administration bring forward an ordinance to ban synthetic kratom. I think like a lawyer sometimes. I practice law as my full-time job, and I think when this is proposed to us, there's a burden of proof. To me, in my mind, there's a burden of proof that the city administration or the city attorney's office has to meet in order to show that this is the proper thing to do. And I'm not saying a ban is a bad thing necessarily. I think what I'm saying is that I haven't been convinced of it yet. And if I haven't been convinced of something, I don't think it's appropriate for me to vote to ban it if I haven't been convinced that there's an alternative method for accomplishing the same thing and balancing the harm that this may cause to children or to potential addicts, with the benefit that it provides to members of the public who rely on it. So I think that's where I'm going to fall. And if this does pass tonight, I guess what I would say is it'll be about 2 weeks or so before it goes into effect. And if the federal government is inclined to schedule the synthetic 7-OH or whatever other chemical that's active in this the synthetic kratom, maybe that would be an opportunity for this city council to revisit it. But I'll tell you, this has been a very difficult one. This has been one of the harder votes I've had to take in my 16 years. Is there anyone else on council who'd like to speak?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Radke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I actually asked you to speak before me because I'm still trying to make up my mind. I think the stories told here were powerful. And like the mayor, and I'm sure all the members of council, I've learned more about kratom in the last 2 weeks than I ever knew in my entire life. I've spoken with many people on the phone. I spoke with you, Mr. Wolf, and I spoke with a lot of people on both sides. I had people tell me that their loved ones had died from taking whole leaf, taking synthetic. I've heard from many people. I've heard from many people who seem to think that there is a health benefit here or some kind of improvement for their pain. And, you know, that's very hard. I'm at heart a libertarian in some respects. I don't like the mayor said, to ban things. This one is very hard for me as well. Right now, I don't like how it's marketed and how it's presented. And I think that it gives me some comfort. I guess I fall on the other side of what the mayor said here, and that people who are using this for a pain health purpose can get it online, and they can speak with their doctors about it. They can get an herbal supplement in the way that they want for this. But I guess I'm going to lean on I'm probably going to vote to ban this, not because I want to, and I would support the mayor saying let's ban synthetic. I would vote that way too. But I just don't like the idea of candy-colored packaging in vape stores and party stores and liquor stores and drugs that we don't know what's in them and people putting it in their bodies. And, you know, the stories told here today, you approach this from a very analytical standpoint. I appreciate that. You know, my mother was a nurse and she thought much along the same lines. You approach it from an analytical standpoint. You try to make things work for you. We don't have all the answers. But I don't think that the average kid who's buying this at the liquor store checkout is doing that research. I don't think that they're doing much research at all. And I'm fearful that, I guess it is synthetic or maybe it's whole, I don't know. And I'll be frank, I've learned more than I ever wanted to know about this. That to me is very difficult. So as it stands right now, I am going to vote yes to ban this. But I am more than willing, if the federal government gives us guidance, I'm more than willing to reapproach this subject. I personally think that, I guess through the chair to Mr. Koszubski, Clinton Township, did they do a purchase ban or did they do a age restriction? What did Clinton Township do when they passed this law?
Mr. Koszubski.
Thank you. Councilman Radke, they did a 21 and over could buy the kratom in any form that is sitting on that shelf. So, you know, the recommendation that's being made, and to go to the mayor's point of, you know, convincing and having evidence, the issue isn't so much whether or not kratom leaves in their purest form can be used for treatment. They can be. That's a given. The problem is even in that form, it can be abused. And even in that form, it can be dangerous. And right now, there is no testing being done on any of the products that are sitting on those shelves, whether they're pure leaf or not, as to what dosage they should be taking or otherwise. And right now, whether you're 21 years and older or 21 years under, it doesn't matter because you can still get it. So one of the things I was encouraged of is that there is online support where you can get the reports that you used. You can get the information you need. You can get the dosage that you want to use. But you're the exception in a lot of cases, not the rule. And that's the concern right now with Kratom, is that is the exception. That is not the rule that when you buy it, they give you those reports, they tell you the purity, they tell you the dosage. You have to do research on your own, and the vast majority of the people that will be buying this are not using it necessarily for treating addiction. Many of them use it because it's used as a stimulant for being able to study better. That's what it's marketed for. That's what the kids look at and they see it. But when it's used in a higher dose, it has the opposite effect, and it can be extremely dangerous. And how they handle that off of a drugstore shelf, or not a drugstore shelf, Speedway, or I don't even know if Speedway sells it, but a vape shop that sells it. How that research is being done, how it's being marketed, how it's being handled right now is the reason why we need this ban, because it's not being regulated in any way, shape, or form, and no one is getting the education on it.
But I think we're going to decide if we need the ban or not, Mr. Shubsky, but I appreciate the candor and the thoughts. Again, I find this very difficult, and I find the current marketing of the product to be what sways me one way or the other. I'm afraid that someone is going to use it and possibly abuse it without understanding what they're taking, and the way it's marketed, frankly, scares the hell out of me. And it's one more thing after Spice, after all this stuff that we've seen that starts out as a supplement one way, and it can be used, I guess, by people in a normal way that's not harmful, but other people are using it to harm themselves, and that scares me. So I guess I'm very torn. I literally made up my mind in this meeting right now, because I've heard it from both sides all week, and it's hard for me. So I'm going to vote in support of this ban, but I am willing to change my mind or change my vote depending on what the state and the federal government does. I would personally like the state to regulate this. If the state regulates it, I don't think we need this. But frankly, in a lot of areas, the state has been behind, in my opinion, and that's why we are forced to make these decisions without a lot of input. So I will be voting in support, but only by the barest of margins. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Radke. Anyone else? All right, then, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. So one no vote. Motion carries 6-1, and that's that. Okay. Moving on, and thank you to the members of the public who traveled long distances to be here tonight. I made that drive to and from Kalamazoo 100 times as a Kalamazoo College graduate myself, so I know it's difficult, and I hope you have good lodging here in Sterling Heights tonight. Ooh, okay. Well, drive safe, and appreciate you being here and advocating for what you believe. All right, we'll move on to the next item, which is an ordinance adoption. This is to consider adoption of an ordinance to amend uncodified City of Sterling Heights.
Yeah,
Gotta
so
drive all the way back 3.5 hours. Woo!
yeah, and I don't know. I guess it was like she was saying, the rain was really bad or something. So I don't know. The way it started off, it was like, oh, what a shit show. And then the mayor had common sense.
Oh, is that the mayor? That dude?
That was the mayor.
Wow. Well, they picked the right one to be the mayor, I guess.
He knew what was up. So, I mean, I don't know. The trend that I'm seeing is they're going from the bottom up. If KDA can't get their way and get it banned statewide, they're going from the bottom up. So they're doing these sales bans, probably to make it look like they feel empathetic towards Marshall Price dying in fucking jail.
I would stay tuned, because this is not the last. I mean, they're going to be, like Misty's saying, like they're going to be springing up all over the place. They're starting from the bottom.
It's in Illinois. It's happening in Michigan now. It's in Massachusetts, Idaho. I know I'm craving
You
Doritos.
can't abuse Doritos. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the trend that that I've noticed for a while now, and it's like they can't get their way on getting it banned statewide, so they're going from the bottom up. And it's like, you know what? When that dude kept saying exception to the rule,
Yeah.
that's what those kratom adult kids' deaths are. They're exceptions to the rules.
It's just, I don't know.
And yeah, like the mayor said, not one person was there for pro 7-0. 7-0's got to go.
Gotta go. Get it out of here.
7-0's the fucking hoe. It's got to go.
Gotta go. It's just like ridiculous. But yeah, they're going city by city, state by state like that. And it's like, if you don't pay attention, you don't know what's going to, a lot of people don't pay attention to their local stuff.
No. Nobody, who the hell thinks, those, like the people we saw at Scranton, it's like, they probably go after dinner and get their early bird discount meals, and then they go head over to the city council, and that's their date night. So,
yeah, I very much disagree about being better off partnering with the 7-0H community. Like, there is no
said
way.
that? Oh my God, dude, get out, dude,
Yeah.
chick, I don't know what you are. Get out of my comments. Go. I don't need you around here. We will never partner up with the 7-0H
No.
community. The 7-0H community, the 7-0H itself, the freaking molested molecule is the reason why we're in this mess today.
Yep.
It's KDA's best friend.
BFFs.
No.
BFFs. You 7
You go sell that bullshit ass to somebody else.
Yeah, that's not realistic at all.
No.
Just saying.
Hell no.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's I'm trying to think of like something. I don't know. You wouldn't team up with it's been a long day. I'm trying to
I
think
know.
of like a thing, like you wouldn't
Your
team
son,
up with, like,
congratulations to your son for graduating
Oh,
middle
thank
school
you.
today.
Thank
I know
you.
you had a very long day, and because of Kratom, you could go tackle that shit.
I thought about that all day too.
It's like the spice industry kind of trying to connect off of the marijuana industry. No, get the fuck out of here.
Do what?
Oh my God. Look, we don't go off of likes and views. We don't go off of who's watching the live stream at all. We don't care. We don't care.
No.
We're not those type of advocates.
That's right.
Our
If there
videos,
was nobody watching right now, the
We'd
reason
still be
why we
here.
do it is to put it out, to show, to
we'd still be here. It will eventually hit the right audience.
yep. Everything happens for a reason.
And that's why that's the way that we find our people.
Yep. But yeah.
But if I remember correctly, you don't even take Kratom or 7-0H, so I don't even know why you here or comment on my videos. But you boosted my algorithm, so thank you.
Yeah, it was Sterling Heights. It was a sales ban.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess what they said is you could have it, so you can still buy it online. So it's not, I think it's just like a local, which I don't know. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
They aren't separating the two. Why? Because 7-0H piggybacked off of Kratom's name. So it's lumped into Kratom. They're after both of them. They're after both of them because of the mass destruction that 7-0H is causing in the communities.
Dude, why would you not separate the leaves from 708? It's not the same thing.
Not the same.
It is not the same thing.
That's why it trips me out when people get mad that the American Kratom Association won't advocate for 7-0H. Why would they do that?
That's what I'm
They're
saying.
not-
It's not our fight.
Yeah. They're not called the Molested Molecule Association,
that's my thing. Like, I cannot stand hearing that shit. Like, well, if you don't, you're gonna lose the leaf. Bullshit. I mean, bullshit. It's not the same.
Mm-mm.
Like, anybody that thinks that's a good idea to advocate for both, ridiculous. You got to choose one or the other here, man.
It's hard to, you know what? It's hard to say that Big Pharma is behind this. Suboxone, the Suboxone industry is most likely behind some of this. But no, this is being pushed by the anti-kratom trial attorneys.
Yeah.
Who are using the KDA members as puppets so that they can win their lawsuits, so that when they go to court, they could try to, fluff up their lawsuit monies and be like, hey, such and such banned it. It's a public health crisis. That's why they banned it. No.
Public health. Dude,
And then the 7OH coming along after the fact is now KDA's best friend.
Yeah. It's insane.
And this is speaking from us who attend damn near every hearing. We don't live stream every hearing.
No.
But we attend almost every damn hearing.
But it's like, hearing after hearing after hearing after hearing about them bringing up, poison control center calls, all this shit going up since 2023. It's like, it doesn't take a genius to figure out, okay, people have been sold this shit as being told it was kratom.
Yeah.
People are going to the ER saying that they're having issues, telling people it's kratom. They're going to the rehabs. They're telling people it's kratom. Like,
they're telling their husbands or wives that it's kratom.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, honey. I've been spending fucking $500 a day or however much, crazy amounts of fucking money on kratom.
I don't even know if I spend that in a year.
No. Yeah, and that's
Tracy. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Tracy Hudson, you know what? Fabulous job testifying today in Massachusetts. Fabulous job.
Oh, okay.
Yep, she was there. I saw her there. I was not going to testify
she did amazing
because
last week too. I was actually going to my son's dorm, like we were on the way, and I was like watching her in the car. I was like watching her in the car, like cheering.
Was that one of the ones that I missed?
Yeah. But I had to at least catch that. She did great.
You did amazing, Tracy. But yeah, when they said that this was one of those hearings, Jennifer, I know you missed it because you were at your son's graduation today, but that was one of the hearings where they were requiring you to say your address in order to testify. I was like, ain't no way I'm doing that. KDA's on this call.
No.
So I dropped my testimony in the chat. I said, due to security reasons.
Those people are crazy. Ain't no way I'm going to sit there and say my whole address. Oh, that's you. Okay. It's like Ghost Rider. Did you ever watch that show, Ghost Rider?
The show or the movie?
Yeah, the show. It was on PBS or something after like school.
Oh, I don't know.
I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
Long story short, they want people to be on their chemically made drugs instead of something that actually works for pain and not get you high. That's totally natural, paid off by effect. But yeah, probably, yeah, most likely. Before this whole, before 7OH was mass produced to the public, I kept thinking, because we had hearings that were few and far in between, and it was only statewide hearings. And at that time, I was thinking, okay, this is pushed by Big Pharma. But it wasn't till 7OH entered the marketplace in September of 2023 that now all these hearings are popping up. Left and right, up and down, side to side.
That right here.
Wait.
Okay, I'm in the real chat. 7OH blew their load. They knew what they were doing. 7OH is the thing that dragged Kratom back into the limelight. We had won. The war was over. Then 7O fucked everything up. Correct.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We were on the trajectory. Is that the right word? I think it is. The trajectory of at least getting 25 state KCPAs.
Yeah.
And then 7OH, boom, came in shit on all of that. Now it's kind of going backwards because Louisiana banned it, Connecticut banned it.
Have a good rest of your evening at work, Titan Ninja. Thank you for joining.
Okay, bye, Titan Ninja. My comments are all messed up, I guess.
And I'll say this, like, as far as like the whole, it's not our fight, first of all. And
Mhm.
secondly, I don't give a shit what people put in their body, but why do I have to advocate for it?
Yeah,
You
I
don't
don't
see me
care.
walking around advocating for fucking whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just,
I don't care. I don't care if you use 7OH. I don't care, but I'm not going to I'm not going to hold your hand and advocate with you if you're even advocating fucking at all. You know? As you can see tonight, nobody showed up for 7OH. Nobody sent an email in for 7OH. We see that time and time again, but they're all keyboard warrioring it over there, motherfucking on social media.
oh yeah, they can sit all day and argue on the same fucking thread.
Yep. They opioid raging. So wait, where are we at? Yeah, I was so mad when I found out about 7OH. I'm new to all this, and I knew it was going to become a problem for Kratom. Yeah. Yep. Just like Spice damn near killed marijuana,
It's literally, I mean, it's destroyed Kratom's name.
Big
Like
time.
it has all of the advocacy that was done before, back in 2020, 16 and all that, blah, blah, blah. It's all fucking ruined. It's all shat, burnt up. I mean, it's gone. It's over.
That's okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So what is the point of a ban if people can just drive to the next city 10 minutes away and get it? Yeah. Yeah. We've questioned that all the damn time.
Yeah.
Spider says, I don't think it should be banned, though.
I don't think people should go to jail for it.
No,
I don't think people should be criminalized for it, but I do not think that it should be sitting out on the shelves right now the way that they are doing things. I don't. I don't think it's been proven to be safe. I don't know. I have a lot of things to say about it, but I just hearing from so many people, like it just can't keep going. Like it, realistically speaking, it just can't keep going this way.
But how can you know what? When you say I don't think it should be banned, though, but 7OH is the reason why Kratom is getting banned today.
Right.
7OH is what's taking my lifeline away. That's what I find. That's what I find offensive. You know?
Yeah.
I have and will never use 7OH. I just want our leaf left alone. Leaf Kratom is safer than 85% of over-the-counter medications. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It should until it's regulated and sold properly. I agree on that, Harpin. Harpin for God. I agree on that. It should have never entered the marketplace. Never.
No.
They did this shit on purpose.
Oh, and they know they did. I mean, dude even said pretty much, the people taking it right now is the guinea pigs.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with creating addictions. That's what I don't agree. I survived active addiction. And for these motherfuckers to talk, you're using the human population as guinea pigs for your little science experiment. I don't agree with that.
I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like, just because there might be two people that it helps, we got to look at the greater good here. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, I mean, all the anti-Kratom people, it's like, look at the greater good. Sometimes you just got to look at it that way.
Spider TV, well, they are the exception to the rule. I guess that's going to be my word for tonight.
That is true.
Exception to the rule because it ruins 99% of people.
Well, and and that's going back to what I was saying about like so many stories. I've heard stories of people saying that it helps their pain, 6 months later, you'll get a fucking message in your inbox talking
Yep.
about, holy shit, I can't go an hour
Mhm.
without taking this shit. It doesn't even help my pain anymore.
Yeah, they're
It's
just
it's
taking it to
just
keep from getting sick.
yeah, it's like there's something something ain't right somewhere
Mhm.
along the way. It ain't right, and it shouldn't be over the counter. Just
We've had people that I show Jennifer sometimes most of my messages that I get, and I've had people that will comment to me saying that that they saw one of my TikTok videos and then they got curious and went and tried 7OH, and then they thought it was the next best thing to sliced bread. And then later on, they will message me and be like, I should have listened to you, Misty. I should have not bought it. We even have people in the Kratom community that went and got lost in the 7OH rabbit hole.
I've even seen people that advocated for it, for example, say like I don't know, this is just completely random, but say in the past, a Kratom advocate started advocating for 7OH. Well, say for instance, I don't know, a year later, here they are, they done been through fucking hell. I've noticed a lot of people just quit both.
Yeah.
And they'll get on Suboxone.
Yep.
I've seen it that time and time and time again.
Mhm.
But yet, they still keep their stuff up. People are still seeing that message about how it's just, I don't know. It's just not worth it. It's not worth even touching it. It's not worth trying.
I've had people comment saying that they used whole leaf Kratom to get off of Suboxone. Then they started with their free sample from the smoke shop.
Right.
And now they're back on Suboxone. Like they were doing just fine in their recovery journey with just whole leaf Kratom, getting off Suboxone. And then they had to go right back to it because that's 7OH, man. I don't think the government on any level should be deciding anything for people. Just make laws that actually stop actual crimes. I know. Banning substances actually creates crime. Black markets fuel gangs. Hey, you know what? 7OH is already a black market.
Yeah.
It's just trying to, prop itself up as trying to be a regulated market. It started off as a black market.
Oh, it's just, I don't know. It's weighed Kratom down. It took it took what gave me my life back and just shit, pissed, set it on fire and walked away.
Yeah.
While they was counting their bills.
Mm-hmm. They're billions
Mm-hmm.
for creating addictions.
Insane to me.
All right, well, I'm gonna get up off here. It's time to eat or
Yeah.
time to make dinner. But let's see. Yeah, if anybody's in Philadelphia, that hearing will be coming up on Thursday. So
Yeah,
yeah, you can.
I've seen
Hoping
a
for
lot
God,
of
yep.
people. Yeah.
There's a lot of people on my TikTok comments that have used some of them. Majority of them will use a metragenine extract, a lab tested metragenine extract. They will use that for like the first 3, 4, or 5 days, and then they will transition to the whole leaf powder, and then they are stable on the whole leaf powder. I always tell them, do not stay on the liquid extracts. Don't do it. But that's how they've been doing it. And then some people have been successful at just using the whole leaf powder. That's the route people should be taking before they get on the Suboxone route.
Right. Try everything before going. I mean, I don't know. I've never been on subs, but again, just hearing story after story, it's just awful to think about how many
Yeah.
people are getting on that because of 7OH.
Yeah. Hey, Bunny. You're welcome. All right. We'll call it a night. That's true, but think how dangerous that will when the cartel. They are already making it. They are already making it.
Yeah.
If you haven't went and watched that, what was that show? Sean Ryan?
Yeah, that's the one.
The Sean Ryan
Yeah.
show, where the guy connects the dots. Don't quote me on this, but it was the Russian mafia
I believe
and like
so.
the Chinese cartels or something like that.
Yeah, definitely go check that out. I mean, he does
Yep.
like a deep dive in it,
Mm-hmm. Sean Ryan show.
and it rots your teeth out. That's known too. It does rot your teeth out.
Yeah, Cody, I used to buy subs from my drug dealer whenever he didn't have any of my oxycodones.
All right, we're gonna get off here, but I hope everybody has a great night. We're gonna try and stream the Philadelphia one. But yeah,
Thursday.
if anybody's watching this and you can be in at Philadelphia City Council,
Mm-hmm.
City Hall, if you will. I think it's 11 a.m.
It's
Actually, it's 12 noon, isn't it?
yeah, 12 Eastern time. So it's 12 starts at 12
Yeah.
Eastern.
Because I mean, we cannot lose Philly. That's a big place. You know,